we're getting ready, a little bit hectic, but we're getting ready to go out to see the tours of the houses, to see the clusters, and everybody is going to be able to go out and buy their properties and get their profit right now. And I think we're just about ready to roll. Insurance policies we don't have, like instruct, insurance policies we don't have. There you go, there you go.
This is the defined cluster from Eager Street, which is 2 blocks here, east to Eden Street, and then north 1 block, or actually 2 blocks north. Not a huge cluster, okay, but it's a very manageable cluster here. You're gonna see we have control over a bunch of stuff here on Eager and on Eden, and then down south on Caroline Street, okay? It is, there's still some vacants in the footprint that we're working on. Again, you know, you do these things in phases. This would be phase 1 here, all right? If you guys look around, when you're looking at these properties, this is the junk here, okay? This is the bad areas. You look around, these are all rehab properties. These properties have been, or homeownership. You know, there's a lot of churches that anchor these areas, which is very good for communities. And you're gonna, you know, take a look around. I mean, look at what's across the street.
Pay attention when we leave here, pay attention what you see there, but on the other side, what it transformed to, okay? That's what's gonna happen here. It's really neat to see the transformation and how nice they put things done.
Yeah, one more real quick thing to note about what Keith said. When he talks about connecting the dots, you can see the developed area here. This is what, about 15 years old here, what's been done here?
Yeah,
somewhere in that range?
20 years old.
So that's about 15, 20 years old there. What you can't see is to the north of us, which is all brand new construction. So when he talks about connecting the dots, we're not in the front of the dots. We're like between the dots. So literally, that's finished. What's north of us is finished. All that needs to be done is this section right in here.
It's strategic.
Which is this strip here, and then as he mentioned down the road, we've got Eden Street, which runs north and south here. So, I mean, literally, once this is finished, you're in a position where you've got a completely stabilized community to the north and the south. So, you know, it's a very strategic location to be here. The properties are shells. We had the crews come through this week, cleaned everything out. The basements are still, I don't want anybody going in the basements because it's dark and there's still some trip and fall hazards. You're welcome to walk in the first floor and second floor. Everything is stabilized in here. You don't have to worry about the actual construction of it. We picked the properties that will be safe for everybody walking here, but keep an eye when you're walking. There are some slip, trip, and fall hazards.
Take a look around. We've got some visuals. You know, if you got some actual floor plans for these properties.
So mostly you're talking about gutting them and rebuilding from the inside out.
It's the best. That's one of the easiest ways for our guys to do it. I say start from the beginning. You know, there's no surprises. You know.
And what about the
Some of the houses aren't going to be that way, but you know, a lot of these ones that are gutted out,
what about the facade? Will they like sandblast all this?
It is going to be identical to the facade there. They'll do their magic on it, get rid of that paint, the chips, and all. See that stone there?
Yeah.
They want to peel all that off and get it back to the original brick.
Yeah.
Keith said years ago, some guy made millions of dollars somehow by they thinking that's the way they wanted to go when it was in style. But they want to bring it back to the brick, you know. Everybody likes that. And then the other group will come in.
The reason that we do the cinder blocks, anything that's vacant in the city, 90 days vacant has to have board ups on it. And that's for private owner. So they'll have, you know, just your regular plywood boards up. If it is a city-owned property, they board it up as well, except they block it off with cinder blocks. They'll do the windows and all the doors, so that there's no, and they'll do it on the first floor. They won't do it on all floors, just the main access areas, right?
We've only lost 2 investors every time we're out doing this. So as long as we don't lose 2, we'll go over 2. I think that'd be our number. They say strike 3, you're out. We lock up an investor. See you guys. Nice.
Yes. The all-in's around 100 to 100, anywhere from between 100 to 120 all-in. Purchase, because we're going to gut them and redo them, reface the whole things. Can we walk back here or not? Yeah, absolutely. We want limited, don't go into the yard because there's a bunch of debris in there that I don't want you stepping on anything that hurt your foot or anything.
What are you going to sell for approximately?
We are estimating 150 is kind of what we're saying, 150 to 155. When we go over to Oliver, that's That's a development that's a cluster that's ahead of this. The average selling price, we sold 18 properties over there. The average selling price on those was 175. So
Oh, wow.
that was the average. Now, do we expect these to go? I mean, we're saying 150 because we're committing to that. We expect them to go higher than
Higher
that.
than that.
Yeah.
This is fantastic. And you guys.
If they do go higher than that, we get 50% of your prop. No, just kidding.
You go in there, you're gonna see two bathrooms, well, one's more like an outer room,
Smaller back there.
but the closets are smaller here.
It did make several other houses, and they're actually the new construction house. They deconstructed the old stuff, put new construction on. At the $200,000, they're pretty well subsidized, so the end numbers are close to what we're doing here. You know,
The guy, Tim, was over talking to the guy, and the guy says it would mean the world for us, him to have that. He's lived over for 16 years to not have to see this, to make it look like that.
That would be nice, wouldn't it? Several, the maps and the comps that they had, even if you say it's only good for today, you know, at least you have something to.
Big block over. See him right there on the left-hand side? You know what kind of house
So
it
like 2
is?
blocks up, like the apartment complex is there?
Is that like a small apartment complex?
Yeah. For some reason, they didn't
Yeah.
come across the street and finish this. Like literally, if they would have finished this, we would have nothing to do here. They did that 15, 20 years ago. I don't know if that was just all the funds they had and they stopped there. I don't know what the reason was, but that was where the development stopped. And really, they just let this side go. So and the only reason there's board ups here is just because they didn't finish that part of the development.
It's the whole block.
Yeah. Yeah, there's 11 vacants.
Yep.
Yeah, 11 vacants on it.
And there's 4 churches.
I know. And when you
it's an anchored area.
when you see we go around the corner, you're going to see the brand new development up there. You got the park 2 blocks down. I don't know if you saw when we came in on Eden Street. That's the one that goes north and south. There's a community center down at the end of the street, and then that's all open space for like soccer, softball, baseball, that type of stuff.
It's a real anomaly because everything else here is.
It's a no-brainer to me. I mean, it really
No,
is.
It's a place you want to invest.
Yeah.
I was just asking. I didn't get to ask Keith, but I was going to ask him, how do the banks feel about this? I mean, you guys have sources of your own.
Well, the banks are okay. If it was one property and the other ones were all boarded up, banks would have nothing to do with us.
Yeah.
But because we're doing everything all together and it's all going to be an established community when we're finished, the banks are
makes sense
okay.
to me. It makes sense to the banks, yeah.
Yeah. Well, the banks don't want to see board ups. I mean, they want to know that their money is secured too.
Yeah.
And we're really looking on this properties, not so much for refis anyway, because these aren't the initial strategy is not buy and hold. We're rehabbing them for retail flip. The numbers work for a buy and hold.
So there's mostly buyers here as opposed to renters in here.
85% single home ownership over there.
There you go. There's the route.
So, but then as Michael said last night when he was speaking, he said that he's willing to go with single family home ownership as well as go with rental properties because he knows as investors we've got to make money is really what it comes down to, and he understands that once the money stops for us, the development stops for him. So most of the time when you work with cities, and this is one of the unique things about Baltimore, is when we work with Philadelphia, we work with the city of Reading, we work with York. When the city gets you access to their properties, they have a specific exit strategy for you, and they want you to go with that exit strategy. Right. Yeah. These guys are the first ones that we worked with that kind of have a clue that, we want you to do single family home ownership. I mean, they don't like rental properties. They want an established community is really what they want.
That's preferred, yeah.
So they're asking us to, as the primary goal, to be single family home ownership, do them for retail flips. If we hit a saturation point, they're more than willing to let us go with renting the properties out. So we don't know what that saturation is. If it's 60%, 70%, 80% sale rate. When we go to Oliver, you're going to see Oliver. That's one of the communities that's ahead of this one. We've got 18 properties in there that we've already bought, rehabbed, and sold.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and you'll see, I mean, the whole street's going to have the sold signs on it. So it's not like, I know a lot of people were concerned when we came to this area. They were concerned that, well, I understand you can buy a property, fix it up, rehab it, and sell it, but what's the dynamic whenever you have 10 of them sitting beside each other? Oliver's proven that people will move in there. We've got, we actually have multiple crews. There's like core crew guys that work for us, but we have around 40 guys underneath us with subs and all that. But our core crew probably got about 15, 20 guys that work for us pretty regularly. And I was just telling Paul, the opportunity for expansion. We know a lot of contractors that are looking for work that we've worked with in the past that are really good contractors, just don't have the work to do right now. The all-in costs, we've got some placards in there to talk about it, but the all-in costs we're expecting to be somewhere in the range of $100,000 to $120,000. That's purchase, rehab, carrying costs, closing costs, basically all-in money. We're expecting the properties to sell from 150 to 155. We're committing to that number because we know you're going to go over to the Oliver cluster in a little bit here, where 18 properties have already sold, and the average selling price. Oh, sorry. Do I hear 20? Can I hear 20? Can I get a 20? The fronts of these property we're going to bring back to the federal style construction that you see across the street, where it's the brick face front that it's supposed to be, not this ugly lead painted brick front that they took away from the beauty of the properties. Couple different designs.
This is good to eat. Anybody want snacks? True investors do.
Anybody make it get a little.
Little lead never hurt anybody.
And your carrying costs that you have, is that for
That's a great question. She asked how long do we include the carrying costs. The way we do our estimated carrying costs on properties is the rehab takes whatever time it takes. If it takes 3 months, it takes 3 months. We'll know that up front. But on the market to sell a property, we estimate 6 months to sell the property. Now, does that mean it's going to take 6 months to sell a property? That's not at all what it means. Do we expect to sell them faster than that? Yes. Can they sell longer than that? Yes. But what we estimate is 6 months carrying costs on the market to retail it after the rehab's finished. So if you have 3 months of rehab, how long will the carrying cost be?
9 months.
You guys are a sharp group. That's why we brought you along.